So, probably a lot of you are pissed off about the results of the Rolling Stone 200 Best Singers of All Time list, and we're all annoyed with it for different reasons. Today, I offer some corrections to it. Now, starting off at number 1, Aretha Franklin. She's pretty good. She definitely deserves to be on the list. Not in this place. She's going to show up somewhere between 41 and 60. And in her place should actually be Jennifer Hudson. But Jennifer Hudson didn't make the list at all. And Jennifer Hudson has not only an insane voice, she has one hell of a story, and she also has quite the backlog behind her, including a top 10 movie. Her buddy Beyonce did make the list. And of course, back in the day, when Jennifer Hudson was in that movie, Dreamgirls, Jennifer completely outsang Beyonce, and everybody was all like, wow, Jennifer Hudson is amazing. And of course, Beyonce got all ticked off about it. I guess they've since made up. But Jennifer Hudson definitely deserves a place, and in terms of an actual singer, one of the greatest singers, she definitely deserves to head the list. Whitney Houston, amazing. She belongs there. She's fantastic. Sam Cooke, not too bad. I don't believe that he belongs this early in the list at all. Same with Billie Holiday. I mean, Billie Holiday had her sound very iconic in her day, but again, probably deserves to be further up in the list. Mariah Carey, same thing. The most mind-blowing thing about Mariah Carey's voice is that, she has such a range. She's able to get up there into those whistle highs, which Minnie Riperton can too, and Minnie Riperton is on this list. But I believe that Mariah Carey belongs behind Minnie Riperton somewhere. Ray Charles, he's really good. He had his own sound. He got down and dirty with it. I don't really necessarily think he should be this high up on the list. Feel free to argue with me if you want. Stevie Wonder can be, definitely. Stevie Wonder has one hell of a range. Great voice. Along with, of course, his library of songs, which is amazing. But again, not even using that as criteria. I'm trying to go off of what the title of it is, which is 200 Greatest Singers of All Time. So, yeah, Stevie Wonder could be anywhere within this top part of the list. Beyonce, too. Beyonce is a good singer. She doesn't hold a candle to Jennifer Hudson, but it's pretty good. Otis Redding is one of the classics. He'd probably kind of fit more in the 21 to 40 range. I wouldn't actually put him way up on the top there. Al Green, yeah, he'd probably be like around 20, 21. Little Richard, a lot of soul, a lot of craziness. He was really one of the early rockers, if you really lay it down that way. And Jimi Hendrix had played for him, but it didn't really work out at that point. But in the end, Little Richard, of course, had a lot of respect for Hendrix. I'd put him probably towards more the 30 to 50 range. Lennon, same way. I mean, he's number 12 as if this were a songwriter contest, then he would rank really high up here like this, or an icon, how famous you are contest, whatever. But here, he doesn't really belong this high up in the list. I'd probably put him somewhere around maybe 80 to 61 as a singer. Patsy Cline, pretty good. She probably might end up in somewhere around, 45. Not here. It's too early. Freddie Mercury, my God. This guy's got to go up in the list. Freddie Mercury pretty much would occupy like the 1 or 2 spot. 3, he'd be a contender up here somewhere. Best rock and roll singer that has ever lived. So yeah, he's too far down the list. Bob Dylan, put Bob Dylan at like 200 in terms of a singer. Yes, he's iconic, all that, but again, what's the list called? It's called 200 Best Singers of All Time. Bob Dylan was not one of those. Does not deserve to be anywhere near on this part of the list. I'm sorry, Bob. Prince. Now, Prince definitely could sit up here in this category. Not only does he have a hell of a body of work, but that guy was a chameleon. There were so many songs out there you didn't even know it was Prince. Sitting around 16, 14, 10, I'd put him there easily. Elvis. Thank you very much. Yeah, Elvis belongs there. Come on, he's Elvis. I'm not messing with that. Celia Cruz, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with her, so I don't know. Frank Sinatra, Smooth Frank. I don't know. He would probably end up kind of maybe sort of back in the next category between 40 and 21. Great crooner. But in his place, I'd probably put Bing Crosby, which... And Bing Crosby didn't even make the list. Come on. What has to be the most iconic Christmas album of all time that even Gen Zers are listening to was sung by Bing Crosby. So I'd put Bing Crosby probably smack dab right here and move Frank. Sorry, Frank. All the way back a bit, at least. Marvin Gaye, great singer. Yeah, he's sitting in about the right place in the list. Nina Simone, unfortunately, I am not familiar. I'd have to get familiar. Adele. Okay, so now where Adele's sitting now, Adele deserves to be moved back down in here somewhere. Probably put her at about 13, where Patsy Cline is at least. Maybe as high as probably 7. Yeah, maybe 9. Probably put her right behind Beyonce, I guess. I don't know if really Beyonce needs... Yeah, I guess Beyonce's okay there, so. Smokey Robinson, very, very, very classic approach. He seems to be sitting in the right place on the list. Not that diverse, though. You pretty much knew what you were going to get with him. So maybe we might move him back to about towards 40 as well. George Jones, country legend. Yeah, I guess he's fine there. I'm not going to complain. Mary J. Blige, same way. She's fine there on the list. Paul McCartney would actually rank higher than Lennon, just because Paul just had a better voice. So wherever Lennon places, put him about 3 places higher. Dolly Parton, she's great. Kind of like the vocal equivalent, country's answer to Smokey Robinson. Not a whole lot going there. Great songs, great personality. Doesn't deserve to be this high up in the list, though, as a singer. I'd probably put her in the 80 to 61 category. Again, I'm being generous. There are 200 singers here. It's a lot. Mahalia Jackson, I'm not familiar, unfortunately. Chaka Khan, very good. Can't say her body of work really puts her out there too much. So probably where she's sitting in the list is okay. She might have to go back a bit. Hank Williams, now there you go. There's somebody who could, who redefined country western. So as a country western singer, he could probably go a bit higher in this list too. But he's probably fine right there. Now Luther Vandross, oh God, yeah, that guy was a great singer. It's good that he made the list. He should also be in the top 20. That guy just had a voice. Friggin' amazing. He sang our wedding song, Here and Now. That's what we chose for our wedding. David Bowie, huge personality. I'd say he's probably sitting right there, right in the right place of the list. Not an amazing vocalist, but quite iconic. And you knew it was him immediately, and the guy could sing. So he deserves to be there. Bessie Smith. Bessie Smith was pretty frigging awesome. Sits right in the right place of the list. Thom Yorke definitely deserves to be on the list. He was a big part in redefining the 90s music and bringing it to a place where we could all enjoy it. Tom rocks that mic. Dusty Springfield's very good, but not a lot of range. She needs to be moved back to like 140. Kurt Cobain. Yeah, Kurt Cobain didn't give a crap. That's the thing about Kurt Cobain. The thing I liked about him is that he just never gave a crap about anything. In terms of like being one of the best singers, no. He could be highly painful to listen to. But he could make those hooks punch right through. Especially if you think about like the chorus of Smells Like Teen Spirit. So yeah, no, he respectfully, he would have to be moved back in the list somewhere about 200 to 181 place. Van Morrison, I mean, he had some popular songs. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Maybe he might. We're going to shove him back there to 200th place or somewhere around there too. Curtis Mayfield is awesome. Pusher Man, what a great song. Yeah, this guy deserves to be here or even higher up. You know, you can put him in the top 20 at least. Louis Armstrong, easily in the top 20 or so at least. That guy, you knew it was him from a mile away. Great singer. Great friend of my grandfather's, actually. And he brought a real beastly approach to singing. But yet he always put a smile on everybody's face. That guy was awesome. He could be anywhere here on up the list. God, you folks are going to have to school me on some of these people because I am not familiar with Alia. I'm just out of touch. I'm sorry. Probably a great singer. Etta James, not really familiar with her. Oh, At Last. That's right. Okay. Yeah, she was smooth as hell. She's totally fine right where she's at on the list. Teddy Pendergrass, he was great. He could probably be moved more forward. Very big voice, that guy. Ariana Grande? No. I'm sorry. She does not deserve to be on this list. She's just so bad. She always sounds like her nose is plugged. I know, I complained about that in the most annoying singers video I had done. It says, the way Jimi Hendrix was with a guitar, Ariana Grande is like that with vocals. As a quote, according to Mariah Carey, I don't think so. Maybe the way Jimi Hendrix was with vocals. I wouldn't even give her that much. She's not great. James Brown, there we go. He could go higher up on the list somewhere. Put him in the top 20. Ella Fitzgerald, I don't know, just never really hit me. She's good, but I don't know. She's no Billie Holiday. She's fine where she's out on the list. Mavis Staples, not familiar. Sorry. Linda Ronstadt, she's very good. She belong this high up in the list? No, I'd probably put her in about the 120, somewhere around there. She's pretty good, but not that amazing. Toni Braxton, she's pretty good too, but again, not entirely amazing. Probably put her in the 100 to 81 spot. Rod Stewart, he's good. He's a very good singer. He sits just fine right where he's at on the list. Joni Mitchell, also a very good singer. I can't keep a straight face, keep a dry eye when I see her performance during Woodstock of We Are Stars. Yeah, I can't even, just brought me to my knees. I would have to say that, yeah, she needs to go in the top 20 for sure. Sade at 51. Yeah, she's a very smooth singer. Smooth. She's a real smooth operator with the mic. She could be here or higher on the list. She's very good. Mick Jagger. That dude is great. I'd say probably he sits just right at about 52. Maybe even push him up the list a bit. He has some reckless abandon to him. Not familiar with Miriam Makeba, so I am not certain. Willie Nelson. Great guy. Great vocal sound in terms of his personality, but yeah, I wouldn't rank him anywhere down here. I'm sorry, he has to go up in like the, I don't even know if he could actually really make the list, to be honest. He's kind of whiny. But he's, I love what he does. But yeah, no, I don't think so. Not on this list. Tina Turner definitely on this list. She's insanely good, especially her earlier stuff. When she started hitting in the 90s, song-wise, it wasn't great, but that voice still came out. So she could carry a tune like nobody's business. She belongs here or anywhere between here and number 1, Barry White. Anywhere between here and number 1. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He is good. Probably about right here is right for Barry White. Brian Wilson, no. He's going to have to be kicked back to somewhere between 180 and 161 at least. His falsetto just grates on my nerves. Lady Gaga, she's pretty good. A lot of people love her voice. She's sitting in about probably the right place on the list. She's not the most amazing singer of all. But she does good stuff. Howlin' Wolf, that dude was so friggin' influential. He definitely deserves to be where he's at least. That dude could sing the blues. Oh, just amazingly. Definitely deserves to be on the list. Kate Bush definitely deserves to be on the list. Higher, I would say. I would say she deserves to be higher up on the list. Because she could do all sorts of things with her voice. She plays it almost like an instrument in and of itself. So, somewhere higher. At least put her in the top 30. Kultum, I am not familiar. Robert Plant was influenced by her. I'd have to check that out, though, because probably I am assuming that the genre of music that she sang is extraordinarily difficult. So if you could pull that off, you're in a good place. George Michael definitely deserves to be on the list. The guy's a great singer. He was a great singer. Very powerful voice. I'd move him towards the top 20. Robert Plant. Which Robert Plant? Let's take Robert Plant circa 1968 to about 73. Maybe 72. And he'll go easily in the top 10. Take him in that middle period, he'll go in the top 20, up to about 78. Above 78, he'd probably go in the top 30 to the top 50. His voice was kind of all over the place. I actually used to have the Led Zeppelin bootleg. It was a concert in Japan where he had actually first fried his voice. And he went ahead and he just tried to sing the entire show, and it was a two cassette bootleg. So for the first half of the first side of the cassette, he had his voice there, and then it was gone. After that, he started singing in a lower register from then on out. So that was like the breaking point right there of his voice. He was singing like from 1968 through, Zeppelin 1, and all of a sudden his voice just broke during that concert, and he never sang the same ever since. If I find that, I'll have to play it for you. Bjork, she's crazy. She's off the charts. Definitely deserves to be on this list. I'd probably put her in the 40 to 21 range. Minnie Riperton, we moved her higher than Mariah Carey. Minnie Riperton had a range like nobody's business. Listen to Loving You. My parents used to play that when I was a kid all the time. And that voice, you could basically try to sing it or whistle it, and it's even hard to whistle. And like it says, she remains in a class of her own, but she does deserve to be higher up than Mariah Carey. David Ruffin. Oh, he's saying Ain't Too Proud to Beg. He was pretty good. My Girl. Nothing to write home about. He probably deserves to be right about where he's at on the list. Dennis Brown, unfortunately, I am not too familiar with his work, so I'm not sure where he would fit. Rihanna, she's pretty good. She's probably fine where she's at on the list, though. Nuno Betancourt plays guitar for her sometimes, though, so that's pretty cool. Youssou N'Dour, not familiar at all. Ronnie Spector, she was pretty good. My goodness, what happened in this picture here, though? I don't know. But yeah, well, we just lost her actually recently, which is sad. But she had a pretty good soulful grit to her voice. Probably fine here in this place on the list. Roy Orbison, no way. I'm sorry. All respect. Legendary songs. Doesn't deserve to be on the list. His voice was just terrible. Muddy Waters was awesome. He could be here or anywhere higher. A dude could just sing. Hector Lavoe, I am not familiar, unfortunately. Patti LaBelle, she was okay. Lady Marmalade was definitely a standout for her voice. She really got down and dirty, so probably anywhere between 74 and 30. D'Angelo has a great voice, but nothing too much of a standout, so I would say probably where he's at on the list is fine. Wilson Pickett, he could probably go a little higher in the list. Doesn't really stand out for me too much, but definitely a legend. It was time. He could go up to about number 50. Springsteen has, in my opinion, a great voice. I think he's probably fitting right on this list, right in about the right spot. Nothing too standoutish about his voice, but definitely an iconic sound. Janis Joplin needs to be higher up in the list. Put Janis Joplin in the top 20, at least. She was just too damn good to be sitting at number 78. Emmylou Harris also is a bit low in this list. She could carry a melody like nobody's business. I'd put her higher in the list, too. Chris Cornell's got to go higher in the list. He's one of the best singers in rock and roll, right up there with Freddie. I'd probably put him easily in the top 5. He should not be sitting here at number 80. Mr. Gilberto, I'm not familiar. Steve Perry needs to go higher up in the list. That dude's sense of melody is just off the charts. It didn't matter what he did, because he even had some really weak songs on his solo album, and yet he could carry those songs. I mean, that voice, it didn't matter what kind of sort of schlocky background they gave him. That voice would take any song and just elevate it to here. He needs to be in the top 10. Amy Winehouse was great. A lot of personality in her voice. I'd put her in the top 30 at least. Lata, I am not familiar with. Of course, she did Indian pop music, and singing those types of melodies is very difficult. So probably she might find herself up higher in the list, I would assume. Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash's voice. Those of you who are familiar with me, I'm usually, hear that train a-coming, it's going round the bend. I'm always trying to impersonate that guy. Him or Elvis. Put him right up there with Elvis, at least. He's too low down on the list. Johnny Cash was just awesome. Michael Jackson is way too low in the list. I mean, I know I've probably overpacked out the top 10, but you're going to have to put him over there somewhere. The guy was an insanely great vocalist. And you could also ask, too, which Michael Jackson? Because there was that little kid who sang with more soul than any of these quote-unquote child prodigies we're hearing nowadays when he was in the Jackson 5. Then he totally just completely reinvented himself. So he needs to go higher up in the list. Stick him in the top 10 somewhere. Wedge him in. Diana Ross was a really good singer, but nothing too standoutish. She makes somewhere in the top 40, maybe 30 to 40. Jimmy Rogers, I'm not too familiar with his work, but I'd probably link him somewhere near Hank Williams. Probably a bit more understated, so he's probably fine here where he's at. Selena was a really good vocalist. Again, not a really huge standout. She didn't bring a whole lot to it in terms of a real iconic voice. So again, she's probably placed right. Gal Costa, I am not familiar with at all. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, yes, I am familiar with that. I had that recording with him singing with Eddie Vedder, and it's incredible. Yeah, I didn't even realize on this list that he's not with us anymore. That guy's awesome. Needs to be higher up. Put him in the top 20. Anita Baker is good. A lot of soul. Not a huge standout either. I'd say she places about right on this list. Stevie Nicks. I just have an affinity for that voice. Listened to her ever since I was a kid. So she's one of those love it or hate it kind of singers. But to me, she always brought the cool edge to Pink. I was going to say Pink Floyd. She always brought the cool edge to Fleetwood Mac. Kind of like how Joe Walsh did for the Eagles. You know, those bands had their kind of cool member. She was a cool member of that group. So I would place her higher up on the list. I'd probably put her in the top 50. Toots. God, I'm not familiar. Some of these singers I'm just going to have to check out. Vincente, I'm not familiar. Chuck Berry, very good. I know the dude played mean guitar, but as a singer, yeah, he probably is sitting in about the right place in the list. Maybe even a little back. Wasn't a great singer. Usher, pretty good voice, good songs. He's probably at about the right place on the list, I would say. Bob Marley, also probably about the right place on the list. Great sound, but I really wouldn't put him any higher. Clyde, I'm not familiar with. Elton John, he's a solid singer. Obviously a huge icon. I used to play with Even Elton, Steven Sorrentino, who used to do a dead-on Elton John impersonation. Sang just like him. You know, just kind of a workhorse of a vocalist. Probably sitting right where he should be at number 100. Gladys Knight needs to be higher up on the list. At least in about the top 50 or so. She really brought quite a vocal range to it. I would put her above Aretha, at least by a couple notches. Taylor Swift, I mean, a lot of people really like Taylor Swift. Sitting at 102, yeah, that's about right. She's like the modern day Linda Ronstadt in terms of vocal range. Nothing too spectacular. Leonard Cohen had a very standout voice, but would I call him one of the 200 best singers of all time? Probably not. Not even sure if he actually belongs on the list, but if I'd probably pop him much more towards like 200 range. Aaron Neville. Now there we go. He did Voodoo Woman, which I had covered a while back. That guy needs to go higher on the list. I'd put him in the top 20 easy. That guy can sing like nobody's business. And what's cool about him too is his voice is so distinctive. You just know it's Neville. It's almost like he has a brand. Eddie Vedder, he's pretty good. He definitely belongs on the list. I mean, again, he's one of those singers that you know immediately who it is. Well, unless you're listening to Creed, Scott Stapp, who just copied him. But Eddie Vedder, definitely, he belongs here. Maybe up. I'd probably move him up into like maybe the 70 range. Certainly a lot better than Kurt Cobain. Bill Withers needs to go higher as well. I'd put him a little bit behind Neville. He wrote great songs, and his delivery of them was really, really, really good. Almost like kind of like folk mixed with funk. Lou Reed, just a cool singer. He belongs on the list. I'd say he's probably sitting right at the right place. He just kind of did his thing. Not familiar with Veloso. Roger Daltrey, pretty good. I would probably move him up higher. The guy had a range. But, you know, David Coverdale didn't make the list, and I'd say David Coverdale would go into easily the top 30. And I'd probably put Roger Daltrey a couple ticks behind him. Paul Rodgers, too, didn't make the list. And Paul Rodgers needs to be up in the top 20. So I'd probably put Paul Rodgers ahead of David Coverdale, and I'd probably smack these three together and put Roger Daltrey right behind David Coverdale. The Weeknd shouldn't even be on the list. I'm sorry. Probably a highly unpopular opinion. He just seems to kind of get carried everywhere. So, I don't know. Fiona Apple definitely deserves to make the list. Great voice. But I think probably her earlier hits are what are mostly in people's mind. But if you listen to something like Extraordinary Machine, she really can do like some serious jazz type vocals as well. Higher up on the list, top 20. Ozzy needs to go higher up on the list. I agree with Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons said the same thing. Ozzy's too low to be here because he has a good vocal range. Granted, it's pretty much kind of a one-trick pony, but still, for what he actually does, he should easily be in the top 60. La India, I am not familiar. A lot of these Puerto Rican-born musicians, which now I'm going to have to listen to a little bit further. Chrissie Hynde, she has a very good voice. I would say probably that she's about in the right place on the list. Not a huge standout. Erykah Badu could go higher up on the list, probably in the top 70. She does some really cool songs, has a really cool approach to singing. Chet Baker, Brazilian musicians were influenced, but yet for some reason he's not sticking out in my mind. Patti Smith, I would say, is probably more personality than voice. Pretty good singer, not a huge standout. Probably sits right on the list. John Fogerty could be up higher. He has a great vocal approach. I'd probably put him maybe at least between 60 and 41. Barrington Levy, I'm not familiar with. Charlie Rich, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with him. But God, there's an actor that looks just like him. Jackie Wilson was one hell of a frontman, and also with a very high range voice. I would place him higher. I'd put him in like the 40 to 50 range. Donna Summer's pretty iconic. A lot of standout tunes. Nothing really to write home about as a vocalist. Probably in the right place on the list. Karen Carpenter. I was raised on some of her music too. She was able to sing in such a real peaceful way to kind of put you to sleep, but in a good way. I'd place her higher up on the list. I'd put her in about the 60 to 70 range as a vocalist. Robert Johnson, King of the Delta Blues. It's interesting because, yes, he can easily place on this list, even though he had a lot working against him. I mean, he was basically just stuck in the corner of a room with a microphone, and that's what you heard, recording-wise, and yet it came across. I'd move him higher, get him in about the 70 to 80 range. Joe Strummer is a very underrated vocalist, so I am surprised that he actually made the list. He also had a very cool way of carrying a melody. He'd make the 30 to 40 range. Donny Hathaway, for some reason, is just not ringing in my mind. And yet I know I've probably listened to him tons of times, so I'm not sure where to place him. Tammy Wynette, very, very good country singer. She'd probably go about the 100 to 81 range. She shaped country for a lot of singers to come. Florence Welch, I'm not familiar, so we're going to leave her where she's at for now. Rob Halford, I don't know, maybe I'm just particular towards these rock vocalists, but he needs to be like quite higher in the list. I'd put him like one notch above Chris Cornell. He'd be in the top 10 easily as well. Rob Halford's voice is just insanely good. Courtney Love, well, I'd place her above Kurt Cobain, but probably not by much. I didn't exactly kick Kurt off the list, but she's going to be somewhere, I'd say maybe she's sitting in the right place, but no, I'd probably push her back a little bit to like 160. Jeff Buckley, unfortunately, a lot of his voice just doesn't come out to me. I'd probably put James Taylor somewhere in here too now that I think about it, and I don't think he made the list either. Loretta Lynn places somewhere around Tammy Wynette, another one of those voices that shaped country. Wasn't a huge standout, but was definitely iconic, and it's her when she was singing. Neil Young, yes, okay, we love Neil Young, but in the 200 best singers of all time list, I'm sorry, Neil, all due respect, but I gotta kick you off the list, man. We gotta make room anyways. Sorry. Axl Rose. Axl Rose has multiple voices. He's got his deep, "We've been dancing with Mr. Brownstone," and of course he has his banshee wail as well. And though he made the list of most annoying singers, he's actually really quite iconic too. Would I place him like in the top 10 or even top 20? No. But I'd get him in that maybe 30 to 50 range somewhere. He really did shape rock quite well. EU, I'm not familiar. South Korean music. I'd have to check it out. Lauryn Hill, not really a standout. I don't know exactly when I kick her off the list. I mean, she does have a good voice, but Rolling Stone is trying to sort of wrap this whole thing and say, well, it's a combination of having a body of work and iconic. She's like a one album person. I'm not even really sure. You have to go maybe to 190 or something. I'm not going to place her that high on the list. El DeBarge. A lot of the songs bring back childhood memories because they were on the radio a lot. And I've had to play this. Play that song. All this love is waiting for you, my baby. Played that in a lounge band in Vegas. The real deal. And his voice has a lot of range, but I don't know, he was just a real kind of a shy, he has this whole shy thing going on. He's probably sitting right where he should be on the list. He's got chops. I wouldn't call him a real standout either. Merle Haggard, just a good old boy. He sang the Dukes of Hazzard theme song. He deserves to be higher up on the list. He's got a killer voice. Put him somewhere between 60 and 80 easily. All these singers I'm not familiar with. From Mexico, Rocío. So I'm not familiar, unfortunately. Bono's a good singer. I know he made the list of most annoying. A lot of that has to do with kind of personality too, a little bit. But yeah, he could belt out a tune all right. I'd probably place him a little higher than this. Maybe somewhere in the 80 to 100 range. Maybe even more generous. I'd probably say like the 40 to 60 range for a singer. And plus, of course, he fits the Rolling Stone criteria with having a serious body of work. I'd place him higher. Christina Aguilera, she's got a good voice. She's got some really interesting mannerisms. Where she really gets like that. She's shown that she definitely belongs on the list. I'd say probably higher. Not like crazy high, but somewhere around 100. Probably place her above Elton John for sure, maybe 70 to 100. Russell Tompkins Jr., I'm not familiar. Luciano, I am not familiar. Darlene Love, I am not familiar. PJ Harvey, I see the name all over the place, but I'm not 100% familiar. Ruth Brown, I'm also not familiar. Like Barbara, or not, Barbara Streisand is one of the greats. She needs to be higher up on the list. We're going to pack out that top 20 and we're going to put her in there, definitely. She's too good to be sitting at 147. Levon Helm, I am not familiar. Wanda Jackson, I'm not familiar. Brian Ferry. Some people could be like, what? You're not familiar with Brian Ferry? But I'm not familiar, unfortunately. Okay, and finally, no, not finally, I'm going through this list. I'm here to correct the list. I was just going to do a couple, but it's turned out that this whole video is going to cover everything. So here we go. Martha Reeves. She did Dancing in the Street. Yeah, she's pretty good. Probably ranking somewhere around Donna Summer. I don't know, though. I think probably she's sitting right in the right place in the list. Michael Stipe. A lot of people really like him. They're a huge fan of REM. I never really found his voice to be a standout. So he could pretty much go in between here and 200, anywhere on the list. Malatini, I'm not familiar. Dion. Oh, Teenager in Love. Yeah, Runaround Sue. Pretty good. Probably placed just right in the list. Corin Tucker, not familiar. That reminds me, though, her hairdo. Brandi Carlile. Where the hell's she at in the list? Okay, I'm going to take Brandi Carlile, and I'm putting her over in the top 20. Easy. George Strait, another country singer. He's very good. God, I don't know. I'd probably place him about 30-ish on the list. That dude could do some country. Oh, Robert Smith from The Cure. He's pretty good. I'm not a Cure fan at all. A lot of people like The Cure, but I would say in terms of the actual quality of his voice, he'd probably fit somewhere around Joe Strummer, maybe. Something like that. He kind of hits me like him. So he deserves to be higher up in the list. Carrie Underwood, we watched American Idol during the time that she was on it. There were a lot of singers on that series that were better than her during that time. So here she is. She ended up taking home the win. She had no soul, no heart whatsoever. But after she got out, she got paired up with some really good songwriters. And so apparently, I guess she was able to go through a lot of vocal training and so on and so forth and really kicked out some great country tunes. I don't know. I still have to place her somewhere up higher or going the other way, sort of like maybe like 170 or something. Mississippi John Hurt, I'm not familiar. Funky Butt. Okay, well that sounds like one that I'd have to check out for sure. Mississippi John Hurt, he's on my list to check out. I'm not familiar. Mercedes Sosa, I'm not familiar either. A lot of these Latin American artists I'm going to have to listen to more. Or Latin American. She may not be, where's she at? Tucumán, Mexico. Thank goodness I didn't major in geography. Okay, well, I was right, South America, at least. So yeah, Argentina. Brenda Lee, rocking around the Christmas tree. Mrs. Science really can't stand that voice. I like her voice. I like the way she sang that. I am familiar with that one. So, yeah, she's probably sitting in the right place on the list. Good voice. Really classic. Francois Hardy, I am not familiar. I'd have to check out some of her work. Bobby Bland, I'm also not familiar either. Sandy Denny, we know her from Led Zeppelin's only guest vocalist on Battle of Evermore. Oh, dark in the dark night, sing to the moment. Queens of Light took her vow, and then she turned to gold. She has a really good voice. I don't think that she carried a huge body of work that was known. It says here that she died in 78, and she's 31. Wow. So not too awful long after she had recorded with Zeppelin. Looking at about 6-7 years. But her performance on that song is really good. Very folksy voice. Ronnie James Dio, again, I'm sorry, but I mean, he was so good. Why is he so far down the list? Ronnie James Dio needs to go. God, I mean, I don't know. Put him in like... Actually, he'd go up there in the top 10 too. It almost seems like to me, like my brain is like, if it weren't for Ronnie James Dio, we wouldn't have Chris Cornell, right? More or less. So, I mean, he's going to go up there. He's going to place in the top 10. They're just packing out this top 10. I've probably got like 20 in the top 10. But yeah, I don't know. He was just so good. Morrissey, I hate to say it, but I'm not familiar. So I know some of the people are going to flame me. I hope you do, because I need to get out there and listen to more of these people. The Smiths. Yeah, okay. The Smiths. Oh, okay. Is that band that did like? Oh no, no, no. I was thinking of the really weird singer. I don't know. For some reason, he's just not sticking out in my mind. I'm not sure where to place him. Mark Anthony's a pretty good singer. I'm certainly glad that I see immediately it brings it to my mind Jennifer Lopez did not make the list because she needs autotune to sing. So I'm glad she didn't make it. He's pretty good. You know, in the 90s, really, he hit pretty big. I don't know. I think he could go higher. He could probably go between 60 and 80. Debbie Harry, Blondie. Got to give Blondie credit. She really kicked rap out into the forefront with her hit Rapture. Interesting. That is what it was called. Just a good rock voice. But I don't know. I mean, I would place her, say, before Pat Benatar. Rock Pat Benatar, not the horrible 80s era Pat Benatar. But I don't even think Benatar made the list. No, Benatar did not make the list. And that's a shame. So yeah, I'd probably put Benatar at about 75, and I'd put Debbie Harry somewhere around like 76. Sylvester, not familiar. Not familiar at all. Over and over. No. Chris Stapleton. Oh yeah, Chris Stapleton is good. Actually, he's really good. He needs to go to about, 25-ish. He's got a killer voice. Can't say his body of work entirely supports what he's been doing yet. He has built up some stuff, but I don't know, just as a singer, he's got a solid voice. Odetta? Darn, I'm not familiar. Not familiar with Odetta. Juan Gabriel? Nope, not familiar. So many singers I have to hear. Marianne Faithfull. She's one of those I see in a lot of things. You know, she kind of, she was a Stones affiliate, so I guess that would say something about. I know somehow she was tied up with Led Zeppelin. I can't remember how, but I'm not familiar with her work, so I'm not sure where she places. Buddy Holly, he was pretty good. You know, he carried a good melody. He probably sits in the right place on the list, 174. Lana Del Rey, familiar. Yeah, not sure. Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop sits about in the right place on the list. Very big personality. One hell of a character. Dude's still doing his thing. Is he a great singer? Nah, not really. But he can make the 200 best singers list. See, but if it's hitting you like me, I mean, you notice that a lot of these singers, as we get further and further and further up the list, we're not familiar with. So that could possibly be a reason maybe why they rank so low. Patty Loveless, for some reason, she's not sticking out in my mind. Taboo, I'm not familiar. Not at all. Martha Wash, I'm not familiar. Everybody dance now. I know, just off that line alone, she should rank higher because, I mean, if you could. Yeah, she did it. She's good. Put her easily in the 30s to 40s. SZA? Solana Rowe, SZA. Not familiar. I have no idea where she would place. Bob Seger has quite a good rasp to his voice. And it didn't matter if he was singing melodic or just kind of hitting hard. That rasp in his voice actually came out pretty nicely. I think that he needs to go higher up in the list too. 32, 33. Jasmine Sullivan. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar. Solomon Burke. I'm not familiar. None of these are sticking out to me. Karen O. From the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Okay. Yeah, she's got a really crazy voice. And actually, you know what? Come to think of it, see now who sticks out in my mind is Stefani, because they have a similar style. And you know what? Gwen Stefani did not make the list, and I kind of smashed those two together in the list. Very good, very solid singers. They should be both in the top 20. Alicia Keys is like, she's way too low on the list. I mean, she could sing her ass off. She would go in the top 20 as well. She's too good to be this low in the list. Ofra Haza. Nothing is standing out to me. I'm not sure about her. But then they say the Madonna Middle East. Well, what about Madonna? Madonna should have made this list. So I don't know. I'd wedge Madonna at least somewhere probably between 100 and 120. Madonna would go. Bonnie Raitt, again, she's really too good. She has a great voice. I mean, try to keep a straight eye with I Can't Make You Love Me. I mean, come on. You know, that lady can carry a melody like nobody's business. So she's going in between 20 and 40. Fela Kuti, I'm not familiar. And that's probably what it is. These people probably should rank higher in the list, but you just, their body of work hasn't been heard by a lot of people. So highly recommended to check out. Joan Baez, if Jimmy Page were sitting in the seat right now, he would actually put her at probably like number 1 on the list. I've read Led Zeppelin interviews where he just talks about her like he's always been a huge fan of her. Which reminds me, I need to listen to some of her work, so I'm not sure where to place her actually. Frank Ocean, I'm also not familiar. Probably newer. I need to get with the times. Jungkook. Oh, okay, he's in BTS. I purple you. We've all been purpled by BTS. I wouldn't know where to place him though, to be honest. And Ohni, I'm actually not sure where to place her. Brandy's got too many vocal chops to be this low in the list. Put her anywhere between 20 and 50. Easy. She sings her ass off. Doesn't belong there. Kelly Clarkson, same way. I think Kelly Clarkson has a phenomenal voice. She should probably be somewhere around 30 and 50. She's too low on the list. Polly Styrene, not familiar, but she has braces. Much respect. Paul Westerberg, The Replacements. Fuck school, Gary's got a boner. I like the song titles. Not familiar with the work though, so I'm not sure. Burna Boy, also not familiar. Like I said, probably these people need to go higher in the list, but we don't know. Billie Eilish, she has a good smooth voice. I wouldn't place her this low in the list. She's not amazing, but it's interesting that really she's made such a splash, but yet could rank below like Ariana Grande. Just can't see it. So we'll kick Ariana off the list, and we're just going to place Billie Eilish right there where Ariana was sitting, and we'll have a happier list. Glenn Danzig. I'm going to take him, and I'm just going to pop him right down near Elvis Presley. And while I'm at it, we're going to grab Jim Morrison, and we're going to pull him in the list too. Yeah, Johnny Cash. Okay. Yeah, so I like the way that his voice is kind of like put up with them. Like some of his albums had some of the rawest production, and it made it so palatable to listen to. It just sounded like the band in the room, but clean. You know what I mean? Everything was dead acoustically, and they made it that way. And so Danzig's albums are worth a listen for sure. It's kind of like early Dio, like Dio's first couple albums, especially, where it's just pure rock, and you know what you're gonna get, and it's like candy almost. And his voice really kind of brings memories of Elvis, especially. He has a real kind of an Elvis type delivery. So you imagine taking Elvis and putting him into this kind of evil hard rock sound. He needs to go higher in the list. Put him between 40 and 30. Rosalia, I'm not familiar. It would be interesting to listen to her and see where she would actually place in the list. But nevertheless, I took this time in this video to go ahead and attempt to rewrite the list for you. And who else goes in that list, if I've not mentioned him already, but Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. He needs to be in there. And he needs to be, I would actually put him ahead of Chris Cornell. I use kind of Chris Cornell as sort of a bar to measure vocalist by. And he would, in terms of just pure chops, and they have a body of work too. I don't know, Sebastian Bach can just sing. But he didn't make the list. So put him in the top 10 somewhere, like number 7. And that would be awesome. Number 7 just sticks out in my mind somewhere. And yeah, so there you go. So feel free to leave me your top 200 or argue or disagree in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. You are now in the family. Or shall I say, like, subscribe. You're now in the family.